Hi crafters, this is Crafty Sabby and I'm back today to share a little project with you. I made some, I'm calling them Envelope Flip Booklets, and they could be used either in your journal. They add a little bit of bulk. I made this one out of cardstock, but you could certainly go ahead and make it out of regular copy paper if you don't want that sort of thick, hard, sort of rigid feeling in your journals. But it also makes a cute little gift on its own. So we'll go through that and I'll show you what it looks like in a second. But first, I just want to go ahead and say that I covered this particular project in some digitals that I purchased from Jarf at Medieval Mirage. I generally don't buy a lot of digitals, but I saw another crafter using this paper and I decided to head over to Medieval Mirage, her Etsy shop, and go have a look. And I was blown away by how beautiful her papers are, and her digitals are incredible. So the one I used here is actually called, I believe it's called Ode to Jane. And there's two sets here. One is Ode to Jane, and then there's like an add-on. And I had to have them all. This really appealed to me. I love the style, the period, everything about it, and she includes absolutely everything you could possibly need or want in a kit, and there is just so much of it. For the price that you pay, this is incredibly worth the value, and the images are beyond stunning. I am so happy with this. I can't wait to make a journal with it. I started small with a little project, but I can't wait to dive into this. I already started putting, it's absolutely gorgeous. I started putting a few things together. She has envelopes and tucks and journaling cards and everything in here, and it's just overwhelming how much there is for what what I actually paid. And aside from that, this woman has to be, I've never met her or spoken to her before, but within a very short time, all I did was send a little message when I purchased from her store, and instantly, she sent me a message back, and the words, Jarf, that you said to me, were incredible and touching, meaniful. You're so kind, and thank you for everything that you said. And I feel the same about you. I mean, you're incredible, very talented. So I encourage anybody who is wanting to, start with digitals, or if you are already, I mean, just and you haven't heard of Medieval Mirage, then please go over, because you won't be disappointed. Just incredible, beautiful things, and the nicest person you will want to meet. So so thank you for that, and I can't wait to dive in. Anyway, back to this little project. So there's the front. So I used, these are some extra stickers here, but this is part of the paper from the Ode to Jane. I just got some lace and a butterfly there. And that's the back. That's just an added flower. And then when you open it up, it's probably nothing new really, but I thought maybe I would share some measurements and we'll do a tutorial and go through it together. So here I created a little pocket at the front, just a few bits for writing in there, and these are all parts from that kit. And then this is cut on an angle just for some interest. When you open it up, I put some paper in there with lines on it so that you could journal or doodle. On the original project, I leave this inside part here plain. I don't have a pocket, but the paper, the kit had these little pockets and it fit in there so perfectly that I decided to add the pocket to it. So as we get going and you notice that there isn't a pocket, this is why, because this is, I just added this on. It's not part of the actual project, but it could be. So you could add anything you want and it's perfectly fine. There's a journaling card and this is a little envelope with another card inside. This paper is stunning. I love the times, the period of the costumes and everything is just so beautiful. So I'm so happy to have this paper. And then on this side is an envelope. And again, paper's gorgeous. We have this closure with some string and this just opens up like this. And I put extra bits of paper inside for a place to write some secret messages if you want. And we're going to use some eyelets. And look at that paper. Oh my goodness. And yeah, so I just thought, you know, a cute little fun element to either add to a journal or not. It would make a cute little, you know, gift. And that's it. So it's simple, but fun. So let's get going. I have written everything down on these little notes. So what I'm going to do is I will read from them just because there's many measurements. And then once we get through the one part, I will stop and show you. And then this way you could pause on it if you need to. And we could do it that way. And maybe you could, you know, write down what you need to. So you're going to need about 4 pieces of paper for right now. You could use, like I said, cardstock or just regular paper. And the first part of this is going to be that we're going to cut down some paper, okay? So that's where we're going to be right now. 4 pieces of desired paper or cardstock, and we're going to go through them 1 through 4. What I've done is every time we cut something, so we're going to start with the envelope, we're going to call that 1. And then the next part we do will be 2, 3, and 4, and so on. Then when we come to score the pieces, I will then refer to them as 1, 2, 3, and 4. Same thing goes for marking and cutting, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4. But it's easier than it sounds, and we'll go through it together, okay? So if you just want to snapshot that in your mind there, we're going to just do this first part up here, okay? So number 1, so we're going to do some cutting. So get your little cutting board thingy out here. Okay, and the first thing it's asking is for us to cut the first piece for the envelope at 5.5 by 10 1/4. So we want to go to 5.5 by 10 1/4. All right. We're going to call this, get my pencil, we're going to call this number 1, okay? I'm just going to put that there, number 1. All right, and then we're going to move on to number 2, and this is for the main body of the envelope flip booklet. And we're going to cut this one to 8 3/4. 8 3/4. Oops, no, I do that every time. This is the long side. 8 3/4 by 5 3/4. Where are we here? 5 3/4. Okay, and we'll call this number 2. Okay, number 3 is for the pocket the flappy pocket, and we're going to cut this to 4.5. By 5.25. This will be the second time recording this video. I almost got through the whole one and then realized that I made a mistake. Then I get frustrated and I just have to do it all again. So yeah, this is the second time. Anyway, we'll call this number 3. And for the last bit, you can use the other part that you just cut off there. You don't have to use a whole nother sheet. You want to cut this one to 5 by 2.5. So 5 here by 2.5. And we'll call this little guy number 4. Okay, so that's it for our cutting. So that's the cutting. So now we're going to move on to to score your pieces. Okay, I'll just put that there for a second. Okay, so now what you want to do is grab your scoreboard. And we're going to take number 1. So this is going to form our envelope. And it says for the envelope, insert onto scoreboard with the longest side along the top. I am going to put it in with my number 1 that I drew at the right side here, and I'll tell you why in a second. For the envelope, we want to score at the top at 3.25. So 3.25 here, and 7.5. Okay, 3.25 and 7.5. And then for number 2, there, this is for the main body of the folder. We insert onto scoreboard, longest side along the top, and score at 4 3/8. Now, for those who might not be too familiar with your 8s, on your scoreboard, I'm trying to get as close as I can here, you notice that there's these little blue lines. So each line, so there's the blue one, and then this little one with a dot, and then a blue one, and then the next, those are all 8s. So when I say that we have to score at 4 3/8, then you want to go to 4. Let's see here. It's hard, I'm holding it up. And then you want to count 3, only 3 of those 8s, right? Those are the 8. All the lines are an 8th. So you go 4, and then you count 1, 2, 3. So that second blue line that you see after 4 is where you want to score. Okay? 4 3/8. Right there. And that should be the center of that that piece. Okay? So now for number 3, which is that flippy pocket thing, number 3, we want to insert into the scoreboard with the 4.5-inch side along the top. And then we want to score at 4. So all we're doing there is leaving a 1/2 inch. Okay? So that's that piece done. Then for number 4, piece number 4, there, we want to insert into the scoreboard with the longest side along the top and score it 1/2 inch there, and then 1/2 inch here. So, oops, sorry, that would have been 1/2 inch, and then 4.5. Sorry, that's 4.5 there. Okay, that's leaving a 1/2 inch on either side. Okay, and then you want to turn your piece so that the longest side is going along the side here, and you want to score again at 1/2 inch. All right, because this one is going to form our pocket. Excuse me. All right, so that's it for the scoring. Okay, and now we're going to mark and cut. All right, so I will just put this here so you can see. Okay, so go back to piece number 1, which is our envelope here. And the reason I asked you to put the 1 over here is because I want to refer to this as the top. So now we're going to create something that looks like an envelope shape, and I wanted you to use the sort of smallest section that we scored. So this up to this score line is the smallest of the 3 blocks. Okay, so this is the top. I just wanted to remember, so that's why I left the 1. I wanted the 1 up there because we're gonna turn this into an envelope now. So for the envelope piece, along the top of the 5.5 inch side, which is the short side here, make a small mark to find the center. And I know that the center is 2 3/4. I wrote it down on there for you also. So put your ruler here and find 2 3/4 and make a little tick mark. Okay, and that's the center. And then along the longest side on the right of the piece, measure from the top down 1 3/8 and make a small mark. So again, the same thing with the 8ths. You want to come down to 1, and then you want to count each line, and when you count 3, that's where you put your mark. So there's 1, the 1 inch, and then 1 2 3 is where I put my little mark. I'll try to get close with this one so you can see. Okay, so there's 1, the 1, and then there's a broken line, a solid line, and a broken line. So that next broken line there is where you want to be. So you count to the 1, and then 1 2 3, and that's where you want to put your little tick mark. Okay? And I'm sorry that they're 8ths. I guess I could have made them a different measurement, but this is what we ended up with. Okay, so now you should have 3 marks. All right? So now, after you did the 1 3/8 on this side, you repeated it on this side, so we have a mark on each side, okay? Using a ruler and a light line, you want to connect those dots. So you start from the top and you come down to the one on the right side. Okay, just make a line, and then you do the same thing for this side here. So you just want to make another line. All right, so now we have our little envelope flap shape. Okay, so you want to grab your scissors and you want to chop those off. All right. Let's do a little bit of light erasing here. Oop. Okay. You can also get your bone folder now, and we could do some folding. So just fold in on the marks and crease. Okay, and that is our envelope. So number 1 done. Okay. Okay, number 2, this one is easy peasy. This is just the main body. You're just going to want to fold that. All right. And crease. That's that. That's number 2. Number 3, no marks and no cutting are, well, no marks are needed. So now we're just going to do a little bit of mitering on this one, okay? So there's your score line. I just like to taper in a little, top and bottom, just for folding. This one is going to get folded back like that because it has to be attached here. This, like, you have to open this up. So that that's going to be attached to something like that. So I like to miter the corners to clean it up. And I lied. We do have markings to make on this one. So I don't know what I'm talking about. It says so on my instructions that I'm not reading. Anyway, so what I want you to do now is from the score line that we folded it on it now, but from that line there, make a mark a 1/2 inch in. Okay, so just take your ruler from that score line that we made and make a tiny little mark there. Okay, so not from the edge of the sheet here, but from there, from the score line, okay, in. Okay, and then we want to make another one. This time you're going to measure from the left side of the piece, going up 3 3/4. So 3 3/4 up from the bottom on the left side, and you can make a mark. So there, and then now we're going to connect with our ruler and pencil that dot to that dot. Just like this. Okay, you're going to grab your scissors and you're going to cut that little triangle off. Okay, so now we have that. Okay, that's our little flappy bit. Okay, and now number 4 is just some mitering and folding, okay? So again, that's the top. I just want to clip those off at an angle. And then we just want to remove this square here. So I like to cut in there and cut in there. So either side of the score line, and then create something like that shape. Okay, we'll do that again over here. I just taper in a little here, and I turn it, and then taper in a little here, and you create that. Okay, then you're going to fold all the pieces in towards the back. And we'll get our bone folder and crease those. The reason I miter is just because everything kind of is neater and folds in better. I just find it does anyway. So that's that. So then I have a couple of other notes here. because I've already recorded this once, I punched out the circles already, but I'll show you exactly what I do. So we're going to need to punch out some circles. We're going to do some eyelets, grab some string, and then here's where I want to tell you. It's the last point here, but it really isn't. So what I want you to do is, if you would like to decorate it with paper, kind of like I did. This one I ended up covering everything with this absolutely stunning paper. But you'll want to do that now, like while your pieces are all loose. I think it would just be more difficult to put paper on everything when it's all together. I think it just gives it a cleaner, neater look when you put your paper on prior to assembling it. But that's just me. So that's just a suggestion. You don't have to. But I just think this would be the time to do it when we have all of our pieces like this. Okay? So just a suggestion. You don't have to take it. Okay? All right. So that's what we're going to be working on now. Okay? So, for the interest of time, because I don't want this video to be too long, I'm not going to decorate this particular one. I'm just going to show you how to assemble it, okay? So like I said, if you want it decorated, do it now before you put this thing together, okay? But for right now, for the purposes of video, I'm going to put one together just to show you sort of the structure of it, okay? Don't get mad at me. And if you want me to decorate one, and just let me know in the comments. I could always do a video on how I've decorated mine, okay? So this is, hang on, let's go back here for a second. I cut out some circles with, I cut out 2 circles with my 1-inch punch out of the cream cardstock. Well, and also these. If you want to, like I did here, I cut out the larger circles with the cream color, and then I did the smaller ones with the decorative paper. So you don't have to do that. I'm just saying that if you want to, then be sure to cut the smaller ones from your decorative paper. Not what I'm about to do now, okay? But for the video purposes, I cut another 2, these smaller ones here with my 1/2-inch punch there out of this for now, okay? So you'll need 2 of those and 2 of those. And then I have my 2 eyelets. I'm going to show you the problem I had with that because you may encounter the same thing. Okay, so anyhow, what you're going to do now is figure out where on your envelope you want to put your circles, okay? So I'm going to put one there and I'm going to put one here. All right, you can eyeball those up just to get them straight or wherever you like them, all right? So I'm going to put these down. I'm going to put a little mark there and there, okay? Because that's where I want to put some holes. All right, so you already may have realized, oop, that one's totally off center. Well, that won't be very good. I guess this is another way you could do it, is just find that point on your envelope, because that's going to be the center. And yeah, let's move those. That looks terrible. Not so swift. More or less the center. I'm going to put one here and one here. At least they're in a straight line now. All right. Yeah, don't be like me. All right. So, at least my punch won't reach, okay? I won't reach my holes. I certainly won't reach my hole over here. So what I had to do was, some of you may have those punches that are have the sort of long space here that you can fit this all the way, you know, but I don't. So you guys may have something like this, and this is an eyelet setter, and your trusty little hammer. This is like old school. And you're gonna have to use that to set your eyelet, okay? So how I do it is I prepare this whole thing, put the small circle on the big circle, and then fit my eyelet into there, okay? And then you take your piece here, and unfortunately I have to do this off camera because my, maybe not, let's see, my glass is here, and whatever you do, please don't hammer on your glass because it'll shatter, and then you're gonna be really upset. Okay, maybe I can show you. Okay, so there's my little tick mark there, and then there's my little thing, and I'm going to place that on my, where to go? On my pencil mark, if I can find it. Okay, I'm going to give this a little hammer just to pierce the paper, okay? I better use the tool. Just to pierce the paper for now, okay? Give that a couple of taps. All right, so now what happened is, with just a little bit of pressure, I was able to poke through everything. Okay, so you want to give that a little push so that the eyelet comes all the way through. All right, then you have to flip this over now and put that, it's a slightly pointy bit there. You want to put that down onto the eyelet and give it a whack, okay? Sorry about the noise, I'm sorry. Okay, and that sort of flattens down that eyelet. Poke that out. Okay, and that's what you're left with. Okay, we'll quickly do this one here. Oh, sorry. Set everything up here. Put the circle on the small circle on the big circle. And put your eyelet in the hole that you made. And then you can find your other pencil mark. Just give this a light tap just to get it through. Turn it over and push it through. Okay, you put that pointy bit again down and give it a couple of whacks. And that'll set your eyelet. There. So now we have that. Fun, right? I love it. Okay. I like old school. Let's move this back here. So now you want to get your number 2, your base piece. And once you have it all decorated, you will want to attach this. Okay, but first, you might want to prepare some papers that fit in there. I kind of pre-made cut these already, so you don't have to wait for me. And you could attach these however you feel comfortable. I just use a stapler, and then I'm doing this step now because I thought I could staple it, and then once I glue it down to this, you know, you won't be catching your hand on anything, and you won't, you know, the staple wouldn't be sticking up. It'll be nice and covered up. So if you want to go ahead and do that step now, you could. Is that not the smallest stapler ever? I just got that from Amazon, the small staples. Okay, so that's that. You will need, okay, let's get this glued down before I do anything else. I don't think glue stick would be good for this. I sort of reverted back to my score tape or something like that to attach this, because I thought it would be a little more secure. Or if you have a good glue. I mean, glue is great too. So I'm not going to go crazy with this for the interest of time. I'll just do this much. Okay. Oops. So we'll take our little envelope now and we will attach it to this side here with the flap towards the left. Okay? Just like that. Okay. This side here now, we want to attach our flap. So you just need to apply tape or glue to the little 1/2 inch side that we made there, the little flap. There, so this is piece number 3 that we're going to attach now. Okay, and you'll want to stick that down to the side here. I kind of go towards the bottom, leaving like literally a tiny little space like that. Okay, looking for my bone folder. All right, that goes on there. All right, so we got our envelope, we got our flap, and now we want our pocket. I'm just going to put one little strip on here for the interest of time. You guys will want to put more glue and more tape, okay, to make sure that that pocket stays on. And you want to put that on the front of your flap. Now, you could put this on here. You could put it here if you'd like. There's no, rule that says that you can't do whatever. Like on my sample there, I said I added a pocket here. Once this was decorated, I added a pocket here. So you can go ahead and do that. You want to take your string now. You don't need too much, but enough. Okay, there might be 1,000 ways to do this. I really have no idea, but I just kind of stuck it under there. And then I just make one little loop here, like one little knot almost, and pull it just that so I know it's not going to go anywhere. I just kind of tuck that underneath like that, and then when you close it, you can kind of create your little figure 8 there. And that is it. Was I off camera totally the whole time? Yeah, I just created a figure 8 there. Okay? And that is the base for my envelope flip booklet. So, like I said, at this point you may already have it decorated with paper, but I mean, you still could go ahead and do it. You just wouldn't get paper like obviously back there. But yeah, I think it would be easy enough to decorate it anyways. And that's it, you guys. So like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully I left the instructions up long enough. You could just take a shot of it, or you know, write it down. If you have any questions, just let me know at the bottom of the video. If you want to go through the process of decorating one, we can do that too. Please head over and check out Medieval Mirage, her Etsy shop, and her YouTube channel. I'll put the links down below, and show her some love definitely, because she has beautiful stuff. And like I said, she's like the sweetest, most kind-hearted person that I have spoken to in quite some time. She just made me feel so special and so good about what I do, you know, in this crafty world. And like you know, you don't know somebody, and then they say a few things to you, and it's just like, wow, you know, there really is good people, nice people in the world. That's how I feel about all of you guys. I hope you guys are taking good care of yourselves, staying safe, staying well. Give this a try. So much fun. Let me know what you think, and we will be back soon. Take good care of yourselves, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.